Moyer taking the mound for the Colorado Rockies. The Astros will send young Lucas Harrell to the mound. Will youth overcome experience? Sign in and join us. The Rockies and Astros are next on Fox Sports Houston. Welcome to the opening week of baseball presented by Burger King. Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Fox Sports Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. Tonight it's Game 2 of a 3-game series between the Houston Astros and the Colorado Rockies. Good evening, everybody. Bill Brown and Jim DeShays. We witnessed the Rockies winning the opener last night, 5-3. The Astros did mount a comeback with back-to-back homers, JD.
Yeah, a little sloppy play for the Astros defensively, but some positive things happened in the home runs really stand out. Last year, the Astros 29th of the 30 major league clubs in home runs. Only the San Diego Padres hit fewer, so nice to see a little power last night. It came in back-to-back fashion, first from Carlos Lee, and then after that, it was Brian Bogasevic driving one to left center field for a home run. So, and if this additional power is going to come from anywhere, you got to think that Bogasevic might be the guy.
Oh, he really had a nice swing on that blast to left center field. Well, coming up, it's Jamie Moyer at age 49. This is a real story in baseball tonight. We'll have much more on Jamie as he opposes Lucas Harrell in just a moment. Is brought to you by the Progressive Insurance Group. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. Beautiful night here at Minute Maid Park for the second straight game. The roof is open, and tomorrow probably will be closed because the temperature has been reaching in the mid-80s here in the Houston area. The Astros have just taken the field, and here's the way they look defensively. J.D. Martinez, Jordan Schaefer, and Brian Bogusevic are the outfielders, joined by Chris Johnson, Marwin Gonzalez, Brian Bixler, Carlos Lee. The catcher tonight is Houston native Chris Snyder, making his Astros debut. Lucas Harrell on the mound.
Well, Lucas Harrell 0-2 last year for the Astros with a 4.50 ERA. He's made just 5 major league starts. Overall 1-2, 4.71. Astros picked him up late last year in a waiver claim from the Chicago White Sox. So here he is, second man out of the chute in 2012. And he's sinker, slider. He'll cut the fastball, change up. When he's on his game, he'll get a lot of ground balls.
Marco Scutaro, the first man up. 299 was his average last year with 7 homers, 54 runs batted in. For the Boston Red Sox, he's done well in his career, leading off. 355 career on base average from the leadoff spot. First pitch to him is strike one. Lance Barksdale is the home plate umpire for game number 2 of the season. Rockies have won 3 in a row now at Minute Maid Park. And they really had an offensive breakout game last year in a game pitched September 22nd by Lucas Harrell against Colorado. And he was tagged for 7 hits and 5 runs in 3 innings. In that loss, the Rockies went on to mount a major offensive evening that night.
And Rockies won that ball game 19-3. Set a franchise record with 25 hits. Good sink on that one.
Yep.
At 93 miles an hour.
Well, Lucas Harrell kind of moved into that rotation picture late in the spring, JD, and wound up with a 2.16 spring training ERA.
And kind of stuck in the back door, didn't he?
He did.
I mean, there was some talk about Lucas, earning a spot in the bullpen, but as things progressed and the way he continued to perform, all of a sudden Brad Mills said, you know what, let's give this guy a shot.
It seemed to many that Livan Hernandez would be in this club's starting rotation, but he was released, and that gave Harrell and others the opportunity, Lucas seizing on that, to grab this spot in the rotation.
Yeah, for the longest time, all the conversation was, well, if not Livan, then Jordan Lyles or Kyle Weil.
Starting lineup for the Rockies is brought to you by Hyundai, Scutaro, Dexter Fowler, Carlos Gonzalez, Troy Tulowitzki, Todd Helton, Michael Kadire, Ramon Hernandez, Chris Nelson, Jamie Moyer. Yeah, it was all about that seizing opportunities in spring training for several of the players on the Astros. And Lucas gets a shot. Gets a ground ball in the hole at shortstop, backhanded. Rookie Marwin Gonzalez with the throw. He goes in head first. He's out. I think he's safe if he runs through the bag, JD.
Yeah. And we say it all the time. A guy's going to be faster through the bag if he doesn't leave his feet. Perhaps that throw coming from the hole, he was anticipating a throw that might have been high and up the line a little bit, so figured if he left his feet, he'd be able to avoid a tag. I'm not sure. But a nice play by Marwin Gonzalez. The Astros really struggled last night defensively, but they played quite well in spring training, and Marwin Gonzalez, a guy who really flashed some leather in Florida.
Boy, he did. Field and Culbreth, the umpire at first, made the out call. Spectacular play by Gonzalez. And now Fowler looks at strike one. Fowler was 0 for 3 in last night's game. Yeah, that's a beauty by the young shortstop playing his second major league game. Well, he was tested right out of the chute, but Harrell, as you pointed out, with that good sinker, gets a lot of ground balls when things are going well for him, JD.
Yeah, he's throwing pretty crisply here tonight, too. 92, 93 miles an hour.
This one in the air, and Bogusevic takes care of out number 2. Let's check the head first slide of Scutaro. There is no way you can convince me that that is faster than running through the bag. And there's plenty of evidence to support the fact that just running all the way through and touching the base is going to be a faster arrival than that method.
It's the one base they let you overrun, so you can do that.
True.
Some guys choose not to do it.
And that's a really good point. Gonzalez batting. Yeah, you don't have to stop. You can continue on that. So why not take advantage of that opportunity? Strike one to Gonzalez, a marvelously talented player who, with 26 homers, 92 runs batted in, had a solid year last year. And it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Bud Norris could have been in this number 2 spot in the rotation. Bud was a little banged up with a triceps tendonitis this spring, so he was moved back, and he will take the start tomorrow. And that gave Lucas a chance to get this game under his belt, and he has a 1-2-3 inning to start 2012. Now Jamie Moyer takes the mound in just a moment. Dave, and showing you a different look tonight with Jordan Schaefer leading off. Brian Bixler gets the call at second base. J.D. Martinez in left field bats third, followed by Carlos Lee, Chris Johnson, Brian Bogusevic. Chris Snyder gets his first start as an Astro. Marwin Gonzalez is eighth, and Lucas Harrell bats ninth.
Well, here comes Jamie Moyer for the 629th time in his major league career as a starting pitcher. 267 wins against 204 losses. And he made his major league debut in 1986 before 3 of the Astro starters tonight were born. Defensively, Gonzalez, Fowler, and Kadire really provide good coverage in the outfield for the Rockies. Todd Helton can really pick it over there at first base. Tulowitzki outstanding as well as short. Nelson at third. Scooter Rhodes at second. Ramon Hernandez, the veteran, behind the dish.
Jordan Schaefer leads it off. And Moyer falls behind him 1-0. Schaefer 0 for 3 with a walk in last night's game.
Jamie will sink his fastball. He'll cut his fastball. He'll throw changeups, curveball. He likely will not break 82 miles an hour with his fastball. But he goes softer than soft, and he has outstanding command. This is a fun matchup. All these young Astro hitters against the old wily veteran.
He's got the gray beard to prove it. Oh, that one, as he squared around to bunt, was in tight on him and looked like he took that one off the body on a foul ball. Yeah, it's the left hand area for Schaefer, and that was the injury he had this spring, JD.
Yeah, it was kind of funky looking. He squares to bunt. He couldn't get the hand out of the way. Got a little hand, little bat.
Like it hit. Okay, they're looking at his finger, like maybe the middle finger. Can't tell which one now on the left hand. But he rolled over on a diving catch in spring training and missed 2 weeks with that injury to the left hand.
He's going to try to drag a bunt, and he should have abandoned ship there as that pitch came in on him, but was not able to do that.
It's the index finger on the left hand.
Even at 77 miles an hour, that really hurts.
Yeah, it does. And a nice thought as far as bunting on Moyer, who throws a lot of soft stuff. So, you know, sometimes he can really put a hitter off his stride with the off-speed stuff, and it might be easier to lay one down. Satchel Paige was the oldest player to appear in a major league game at 59 years, 80 days. He started a game for Kansas City in 1965. Vinny Minoso, Hoyt Wilhelm, Jamie Moyer, and Julio Franco.
And Page and Minoso, those were more just kind of ceremonial, you know, run them out there one more time kind of thing.
Exactly.
But the other guy, Hoyt Wilhelm, is still a capable reliever. We saw Franco at the end of his career. He could still give you a tough AB.
Well, Moyer now is the oldest starting pitcher in Major League history to be on an opening day roster. 40 years, 140 days. Only 2 players who've been older made opening day rosters. They were not starting pitchers. Hoyt Wilhelm and Jack Quinn.
He's baseball's version of Betty White. just keeps coming back. You think he's done.
And only Satchel Paige, you saw him a moment ago, has been older at any point in the season and has made a Major League start than Jamie Moyer. High drive right field, and this is a leadoff homer for Schaefer. Jordan Schaefer goes deep to give the Astros an early 1-0 lead.
He's trying to bunt. And he might have broke his finger. Ends up hitting a home run. That's something else Jamie's done. He's given up more home runs than any pitcher in history. Most when he pitches long as he has, it stands to reason. But a great start. We talked about it in the pregame with Carlos and Brian Bogasevic going deep last night. Now Jordan Schaefer, the Astros, 29th of the 30 Major League clubs in home runs last year, hit just 95. Only the Padres hit fewer, so a nice start in the home run department.
Brian Bixler taps it foul. There's strike one.
And you would argue, well, a run is a run is a run. It doesn't matter how you get him, and that's true. But generally, teams that hit a lot of home runs do pretty well, score a lot of runs.
That was Schaefer's second home run as an Astro. Traded in midseason in the Michael Bourne deal from Atlanta. 357-footer to give the Astros an early lead. Bixler getting the call at second base. Came up as a shortstop, but he has played many different positions. And he credits Perry Hill, the famed infield coach, with helping him convert to second base at times. 186 hitter with Pittsburgh and Washington. And being that right-handed hitter who gets his first start as an Astro, he moves in at second base with Jose Altuve getting a rest tonight after he started last night. Bixler not only is an infielder but an outfielder as well, and he tries to prepare for each of the positions as he goes through his various pregame routines. Moyer 2-2 at the Astrodome, 2-1 at Minute Maid Park. 5-4 lifetime against Houston.
Made his debut against Steve Carlton.
How about that? 1986.
Somebody in the press lounge earlier was making one of those, those chains of 4 degrees, 55 degrees of separation. They were taking Jamie back to Babe Ruth, and I think they did it with like 4 guys.
Wow.
Gossage, Minnie Minoso,
That's fun.
Joe Gordon, and Babe Ruth.
Oh, Bixler works a walk. Oh, Moyer, who signed as a non-roster player over the winter and then had to make the club this spring, did so at age 49. He had a 2.50 ERA in spring training for Jim Tracy's club. The last player to appear in a major league game at age 49 was Julio Franco. That was in 07 for Atlanta.
Jim Tracy told him he made the club. Jamie said thank you, and Jim said don't thank me. We're not in the business of handouts here. You've earned it.
And the throw goes over. Brian Bixler attracting some attention there with Todd Helton holding him. Moyer has been released 3 times, one of them by Brad Mills in 1993 when Brad was managing in the Cubs organization at AAA Iowa. But Moyer had surgery, and they made that move, and then, of course, he bounced back. There's a shot on the ground. Nelson goes to second, and there's the turn for a double play. Scudero is the middleman on a 5-4-3 twin killing.
Pretty well struck by JD. Unfortunately, he sure-handed Nelson there to gobble it up and start the around the horn double play.
Carlos Lee had quite a game last night with an RBI single in the first and a homer later. He had 18 long balls last year, drove in 94. Taking strike one. Carlos, a .212 career hitter against Moyer with a couple of homers and 6 runs batted in. It's a 1-1 count. Bouncer back to Moyer. After the leadoff homer, he goes through the next 3 batters with the double play, a big one, but Schaefer unloads. And the Astros, who hit 2 long balls last night, get Schaefer's tonight to grab a 1-0 lead in the first.
And you can visit MLB.com/fan guide for a chance to win a VIP experience for 2 this year at a Major League Baseball World Series game presented by Scott's, the official lawn care company of Major League Baseball. MLB.com/fan guide.
Beautiful night here in downtown Houston. Troy Tulowitzki leads it off here. He hit a long homer last night and a sacrifice fly. There's strike 1 to Tulo. As Lucas Harrell enjoys his early season start, and it's the first time he's been on an opening day roster. Tulowitzki with 30 homers, 105 runs batted in last year. Really ripped one off Fernando Abad last night. And the Rockies took a 2-run lead with his homer in the 9th inning. That proved to be big. The Astros put a couple of men on in the bottom of the 9th, but Rafael Betancourt was able to put out the fire for the Rockies' first win of the year. Harrell pitched for the Astros against Double-A Corpus Christi in his last game in spring training at Corpus with 6 shutout frames to tune up for this start tonight. That one rolls out to shortstop. Marwin Gonzalez. 1 down. 3rd ground ball out for Harrell in the early going. So the youngster Gonzalez, age 23 from Venezuela, has a couple of chances early in his 2nd major league game. Jed Lowry continues to show progress from a right thumb injury, and he'll be due to return to the active roster as the next road trip begins in Miami.
Goes without saying, infield defense very, very important.
Todd Helton bangs a line drive. J.D. Martinez there.
With a guy like Harrell on the mound, Kyle Weiland, both those guys figure to get a lot of ground balls.
Yes, they do. Patty Smith.
Hey guys, be sure to join the Astros as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of the first game in franchise history this Tuesday against the Braves. The Astros will wear the authentic Colt 45s uniforms, and 10,000 fans will receive a Colt 45s cap courtesy of Cons. Root now and buy tickets for April 10th at Astros.com. Bill?
That's a big night. A lot of special things going on that night. There's ball 1. So we look forward to it Tuesday night against the Braves. Michael Kadire had a couple of hits, drove in a run in last night's game. Bob Aspromani will be here. Throw out the first pitch that night as we celebrate the beginning of the franchise on April 10th, 1962 for the Colt 45s.
Bob will also be inducted into the Walk of Fame that afternoon over here on Texas Avenue.
Yes.
3:30 or thereabouts.
2 balls and a strike, and the pitching matchup is Kyle Weiland and Tommy Hansen Tuesday night at 7:05.
Well, Kadire sitting here 3-0. Likely has green light if he wants it. It's a good 3-0 pitch there. Got the zone, but was able to get it down a little bit on the outer third.
Kadire steps away. Rockies are counting on a lot of things from Michael Kadire, including a clubhouse presence. That's in there for strike 2. Pretty good pitch to take.
Yeah.
3-1.
3-1. 2 outs, nobody on. You're looking to inflict a little damage. First AB maybe just wants to look at a couple. And chase one out of the zone.
It sure did. Well, it sounds as if from some of the stories written about the Rockies and their offseason moves, they were not happy with their clubhouse mix. They're hoping that players like Kadire can improve that this year for Jim Tracy's ball club. That's a liner to left field. J.D. Martinez looking, and it bangs off the wall, kicks back toward the infield. Kadire legs it out for a stand-up double.
And we were talking about this last night. J.D. played a ball last night off the base of the wall, came right back to him, and the more experience he has out there, he'll get a better feel of how aggressively to pursue these balls. Carlos grew to be very adept at it. You get too close, and that carom kicks by you, and it's an extra base. Kadire runs well, but if J.D. backed off a little bit and got that carom before that ball went by him, he would have had a shot at him at second base.
Sure would have. Yeah, J.D. threw out some people last year, showed a good arm on occasion. Kadire becomes the first Rocky base runner, and it's Ramon Hernandez.
That particular ball, though, very difficult play to make that determination. If it's really high, then you know, well, there's no way I'm going to catch it, so you might as well turn around and get ready to play the carom. But that ball wasn't all that high, so you pursue it thinking, well, maybe I can make a play on it before it gets to the wall.
That's ball 1 to Hernandez.
Again, a real high fly ball. You slam on the brakes, and at some point he probably should have realized he wasn't going to catch that one and stop a little bit sooner before he got to the warning track. And again, it's just a matter of practice. Take a lot of fungos off that wall during BP before the game, and getting used to playing it during the game as well.
There's that dead spot on the wall to and left where the Corona light bottle advertising is. It's up around the head.
Yaz probably didn't learn to play the wall overnight. Or Jim Rice.
True. Boy, was Yaz good at that green monster, though. He really knew where all the caroms would wind up, and there were some different live and dead spots on that green monster. Good movement there. It runs over the inside corner for a 2-1 count on Hernandez. Hernandez has been trouble for the Astros. A .345 career hitter against them with 7 homers, 24 runs batted in. You pointed out last night he's a very solid opposite field hitter. Good pitch. It's 2-2.
Good changeup there. He had a nice touch with his changeup so far tonight. It's a great complementary pitch to his sinker because it looks very much the same as his sinker. But the sinking fastball at 92 miles an hour and the changeup, that one at 82.
Harrell from Springfield, Missouri. 4th round pick of the White Sox in 04. A waiver claim last June by the Astros.
One fastball way up and in on Hernandez, but that probably wasn't intentional. But for a sinker guy, it makes sense to go hard up and in every now and then. Change the eye level, make him see the ball up a little bit before you go back downstairs with the sinker.
Doug Brocail watching pitcher number 2 of the season. Wandy Rodriguez started last night. Bud Norris goes tomorrow. And it's Kyle Weiland following Jay Happ in the Braves series, and Wandy Rodriguez comes around again on Wednesday night. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. A good thing for the young players on the Astros to have a week here at home to settle in, find their housing, for the season before going on the road to Miami and Washington. The next homestand after this one will be just 3 games against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Tap to shortstop for Gonzalez. And on over to Carlos Lee. No runs, a hit, and a man stranded. 1-0 Astros in the second. Schaefer, we go to AT&T Trivia now as we await the bottom of the second. Other than Jamie Moyer in modern era baseball, name the 5 pitchers who have pitched in 4 different decades.
Nolan. Ryan, that would be.
Yes.
Tommy John.
Oh, yeah. Chris Johnson looks at ball 1. He was 0 for 3 last night. How about
Jim Cotton?
Yeah, Jim Cott's another good one. Tom Seaver didn't pitch in 4 different decades, did he? Broken bat looper and caught by Scudero. The barrel of the bat is out close to the third baseman. Wilbur Wood didn't do it, did he? About Phil Necro.
Boy, I gotta believe Nuxie did, don't you?
Let's go with Phil. Good timing by Scudero.
Did Warren Spahn pitch in the 40s? Did he pitch in the 50s, 60s, and 70s?
He may not have pitched in the 40s, but that's a good guess.
How about Hoyt Wilhelm?
That would be, definitely one we should go with. Maybe early win. Brian Bogusevic looks at strike 1. He ripped a homer last night as the Astros went back-to-back to tie the game. Carlos Lee preceding Bogusevic's long ball. That's a screamer going foul. Brian was a pitcher at Tulane and also did some hitting as a DH, but he was drafted as a pitcher. And he said as he progressed through the Astros system, he really didn't hit until he got to Double-A. But yeah, those 4 days when he wasn't pitching, they were long days, he said. He really prefers playing every day. This time he's rung up for out number 2.
A good swing at that previous one. Then Moyer just made a perfect pitcher's pitch to finish him off. Dropped down the arm angle a little bit. Little cut fastball. Might have been a little bit low.
Jamie Moyer, at the time Brad Mills told him that he was released by the Cubs organization, had a record of 34-54. And Brad said that he would be pitching elsewhere. 517 starts and 233 wins later. He's still pitching. Brad had that right, and they've remained good friends. And Moyer has told Brad since then, I would have cut me.
Well, if he were to go to a tryout camp today, there's no way he'd get drafted.
You're right.
Son, take that 82 miles an hour and go on home.
Chris Snyder has one career homer off Moyer in 10 at-bats, 1 for 10. Out in front of that one, it's 2-1 to the Houston native. A special night for Chris Snyder coming back home where he went to Springwoods High School and the University of Houston. And he was drafted in the second round in 2002 by Arizona, traded to Pittsburgh in the middle of the 2010 season. Fouls that one, and it's 2-ball, 2-strike count. Let's see who those pitchers were who pitched in four different decades.
See how we did here.
5 pitchers other than Jamie Moyer. Pitched in 4 decades. Nolan Ryan, Jim Cott, Jesse Orozco, we forgot him,
sure.
and Mike Morgan, and Jerry Royce. Well,
wow, we did not do very well on that.
No, we failed. We're going to have to take that course over again, JD, tomorrow.
So there are 5 pitchers besides Jamie that have pitched in 4 decades. Since when? How are we defining the modern era? 1920 and beyond?
Probably. Snyder taps it on the left side. Nelson makes the strong throw for a 1-2-3 second for the ageless one, Jamie Moyer, in a 1-0 game. The Astros leading after 2.
Astros up by 1 in the top of the 3rd, and you know, as we celebrate the troops today, there was a big ceremony down here on the field, and these people right here as part of Operation Homefront were given the key to a house, and I'm going to get to you guys in a minute. This is Quentin and Jennifer, but Amy from Operation Homefront, tell us a little bit about what happened down there today.
Sure. Well, through a partnership that we have with J.P. Morgan Chase, who committed to giving us 100 houses this year, we were able to give our first house away today to Quentin and his wife. They live in one of our transitional housing facilities, and this is the next step in their transition.
You know, why is this important to you guys to be a part of this, and then how cool was it to present them with that key? You actually handed it to them today.
It was just a wonderful honor to be part of this ceremony. It's basically a testament and a commitment of the firm to take care of our men and women of the armed forces, and we'll continue to do it. Very proud of doing that.
All right, and you guys, you know, I can't quite compete with giving you a house, but you are going to be our progressive fans of the game, so I got this great bag of stuff I'm going to give you here in a minute. But, you know, the looks on your faces when you were told that you're getting a mortgage-free house, can you kind of describe that to me, Jennifer?
I was very excited. I didn't know what to say. I was scared a little. I thought it was a joke at first.
And you, of course, you know, for your service and everything, I know this means a lot to you. I mean, we thank you for all you do. Obviously, there's a lot of people that do, but what does this mean to you to be honored and thought of in this way?
It's just, it's amazing. It's awesome to think that, like, when I first got nothing out of it, it's just like people just constantly giving for soldiers and constantly helping them out. And it's an amazing feeling. Like, it's very inspirational.
All right, well, congratulations. You guys are an inspiration. And again, our progressive fans of the game, there's our contribution. Thanks so much. Bill?
Thank you. That's a great story, Patty, and we enjoyed seeing those soldiers parading on the field as they were welcomed back from the Iraqi War. And that parade started a few blocks away and wound up in the ballpark, and the first pitch was thrown by Major General Jimmy J. Wells. What a sparkling play there by Marwin Gonzalez to his right on Nelson. Now Jamie Moyer bats. Gonzalez has made 2 superb plays, and that's the first strikeout of the game for Lucas Harrell.
Yeah, Marwin Gonzalez, a Rule 5 draft pick, and he is really impressed with his glove work so far. As you watch the soldiers come in pregame after the parade around town. Ceremony on the field.
Mayor Anise Parker was there at home plate to welcome them as the city of Houston collaborated with the Astros on the festivities today. The Astros donating 2,000 tickets to the game as a part of this event. And we had more flag on the field ceremonies for the anthem, so it was another special night. Even though it's night number 2 of the season, we kind of had that opening day feel to it. Scudero grounded out on that first excellent play by Marwin Gonzalez, and it's 1-1. So Lucas Harrell getting good defensive support in this game, and he's allowed 1 base runner through 2 2/3. 1 strikeout, 5 groundouts.
Yeah, well, I could see it becoming a slogan. Let him hit it to Marwin. Gobble it up.
That's punched on a line, foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Last night, the fabulous crowd of 43,464 was the 11th straight sellout in the home opener for the Astros, and 12 sellouts and 13 openers since moving into this ballpark. And this, by the way, is the date, April 7th, that this ballpark opened in 2000. First regular season game between the Phillies and the Astros. Craig Biggio got the Astros' first hit. Sharp grounder backhanded by Bixler on over to Carlos Lee. And that was only a 9-pitch inning for Lucas Harrell, with the Astros leading 1-0. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Nice warm evening, and some folks are enjoying Miller Lights right now in the ballpark. As Jamie Moyer comes out for the bottom of the 3rd inning, gave up that leadoff homer to Schaefer, and then he walked Bixler, but what followed was a double play ball, then another ground out. He had a 1-2-3 second inning, and he faces Marwin Gonzalez now. 1986, the year for Jamie Moyer's debut, and Marwin Gonzalez is just 23 years old. There is strike 1.
Well, clearly Marwin can play major league caliber shortstop defensively. His career will be determined by how well he handles the bat.
That time he taps out to Moyer, 1 out. Yeah, Will, he's a switch hitter. Has a lot of interesting talents, and it'll be fun to watch him develop throughout the year. Jamie Moyer first faced Houston. Here's a look at the lineup in '86. You'll remember those guys, JD.
Well, and, you know, the reason why Jamie, other than the mental toughness and the ability to make adjustments and all those reasons that allow somebody to play at a high level for a long time, Jamie Moyer is a very good athlete. I remember a play he made early on when pitching for the Cubs, where he crashed through the railing in the visitors' dugout in Wrigley, just went flying into the dugout. His father-in-law, Digger Phelps, told him he should hang it up about a decade or two ago. $40 million ago.
Some of his kids are here watching the game tonight. Not his teammates, his children. Lucas Harrell out in front of that one, 0-2. 267 major league wins. And it's 1-2, and some milestones are right there in front of him. His wife in the blue there, and 8 children, we understand, are here.
You got just about a baseball team. That's why he's staying in shape, so he can be on the team. He has to keep pitching so he can put them all through college.
And he gets a strikeout of Harrell. Number 2 for Moyer.
Has he always worn number 50, or is that
not sure
with the target in mind?
Well, he will be 50 later this year. The leadoff homer by Schaefer was the first for an Astros since Jose Altuve hit one against the Giants last August 20th. Moyer is 16th in Major League history in the all-time games started list. He's 39th in innings pitched. Needs 19 starts to tie Tom Seaver for 15th in games started. And with one more win, he will tie Jim Palmer for 34th place on the all-time wins list. Palmer, a Hall of Famer. 1-0 to Schaefer. 2 balls, no strikes to Jordan. He's the leader among all active Major League pitchers in victories, starts, innings pitched, and strikeouts. Schaefer's worked the count to 3 balls, no strikes. It's 3-1. Rockies only need 4 starters because of off days in the early schedule, so their 5th starter, lefty Drew Pomeranz, is starting the season in the minor leagues. That's a pop-up right there at home plate for Hernandez. And Moyer is stringing together outs after the leadoff homer by Schaefer. He has gotten tough, and it's 1-0 Houston through 3.
Top of the fourth, Astros up by 1. And hey, Astros fans, Chevy is proud to present a new show called Chevy Hometown Kids. It's not about the score, it's about the experience. So tune in each Saturday at 10 a.m. right here on Fox Sports Houston, or visit hometownkids.tv for more information. Bill?
Thanks, Patty. 1-0 Astros on a Schaefer first inning homer. Now here's the fourth inning, and Dexter Fowler, the switch hitting center fielder, taking ball 1 from Lucas Harrell. Each club with 1 hit through the first 3. Fowler hit the ball in the air to right field. Harrell catches the zone. Lance Barksdale rings up strike 1 for him.
Lucas very efficient. That was pitch number 40 as he works here in the fourth inning.
On a high pitch, he goes to a 1-2 count.
And primarily sinker and changeup, then the occasional cut fastball, and every now and then that slurvy breaking ball that he just flipped up there.
And good heat blows him away. 92 miles per hour with some riding action on it for his second strikeout of the night.
They wanted to come in on Fowler. You saw where Snyder was set up, but the ball had a little run out away from him, but up in the zone, and a tough pitch for Fowler to get on top of.
Sure was. Carlos Gonzalez, who grounded out to Carlos Lee, is the batter against Lucas Harrell, shooting for his second major league win. Great numbers. There's a liner into left field toward the corner. Looks like a double for Gonzalez, who runs extremely well. And he will be in standing with a 2-base hit. Second double of the night for Colorado, and Cargo had 38 of those last year.
Oh, that two-seam fastball that Harrell features, he's going to get a lot of movement down and away from left-handed hitters. This one, that wasn't really down, but it was moving away from Gonzalez, and he did a nice job just riding it the other way. The Rockies were very good at that last night. A lot of their hits to the opposite field last night, and a good approach here by Gonzalez.
He's aboard for Tulowitzki, who bounced out earlier. He looks at the breaking pitch. There's strike 1. Zach Greinke in Milwaukee shut out St. Louis today 6-0. Beating Adam Wainwright. Corey Hart hit a couple of homers. Cardinals drubbed the Brewers yesterday. Arizona down San Francisco today 5-4. Daniel Hudson won that one over Madison Bumgarner. Aaron Hill hit a couple of home runs. Right there in the edge. Yes, it was. 0-2.
I think Greinke's going to have a big year.
Do you?
Yeah.
See, this is his free agent year, right?
I don't know. I just think he's going to have a big year.
Okay. So that has nothing to do with your feeling.
No, I just think he's a really good pitcher who's going to put it all together. He's tough, boys. Got good stuff.
Richard Justice of MLB.com, very good columnist, formerly with the Houston Chronicle, is here covering this game, and he's been to a lot of different camps and spring training, and he'll be making his rounds throughout Major League Baseball. He is really impressed with the Texas Rangers this year. Darvish?
Going out on a limb. Richard, come on, man.
Well, he's an esteemed columnist, and if something strikes his attention, we need to pay particular attention to that. But you're right. Yeah, that's, well, where they wound up last year, almost winning the World Series. And they may have actually gotten better. There's RJ working on his latest for MLB.com. And he's been to the new ballpark in Miami. He was telling me all about that.
It was a dark and stormy night. He's working on his novel.
He said that Miami ballpark is something else, quite different. Brian McTaggart alongside colleagues at MLB.com and Allison Footer, of course. So you can see all of the work of those three.
We'll start a new game and identify the press box.
It was certainly jammed last night as usual for an opener. This one gets by Snyder. Cargo taking third on the wild pitch. That could be significant in this inning with a runner at third now and 1 out and a 1-2 count.
Straight changeup away to a right-handed hitter from a right-handed pitcher can be a very difficult pitch to command. The biggest fear is that you make a mistake and let it drift back over the middle. He didn't do that, but he kind of pulled it across his body, and Snyder was not able to contain it. And that allows Gonzalez to move up to third base with just 1 out.
So now Tulowitzki down in the count. Has a shot at making contact and driving in the tying run as the infield stays back.
Still early enough in the ball game where you're going to stay back. Oh, no, they're going to crash now.
Yes, they are. And it goes to the crasher. Gonzalez throws home, and there's the tag by Snyder, and they get him.
High five in that dugout, Brad Mills. Good call.
Yeah, they were running in, as JD mentioned, the term is crash. When the infielders move in on the pitch, and it went to the drawn-in Marwin Gonzalez.
It just worked out perfectly for the Astros. It's a situation when the infield's back, they're probably thinking contact. I don't know if Gonzalez would have made an adjustment after having seen the infield in, but clearly he was moving on contact. The ball was sharply hit, and Gonzalez made a fine play. And a great call by Brad Mills, because the point I was just about to make prior to the pitch was this is a time where normally you keep the infield back and you concede that run to get an out because you're fearful of a big inning developing. Little roll of the dice. Good call.
They were working on that on one of the backfields in spring training, JD, when we were there.
A timely blitz called by the defensive coordinator.
Runner going now, and here's Snyder's throw to Gonzalez, and the tag, and they get him. Tulowitzki caught for the last out in the top of the 4th inning on sparkling defensive work for the Astros, who made 4 errors last night. Different kind of a night in game 2, and they lead it 1-0 in the 4th. Spectacular glove work from Marwin Gonzalez in this game.
Yeah, ironic because the Astros, who really struggled last night defensively, really playing a fine game, and primarily Marwin Gonzalez. No panic, get up, make a good strong throw. He's shown his ability to go in the hole, made that nice play on the crash play last inning.
Now he watches as Brian Bixler leads it off in the home 4th inning with strike 1. Bixler drew a walk in the first, one of only 2 base runners allowed by Moyer, who's retired 8 in a row. Bouncing that one, and it's 1-1. Moyer first came to the big leagues as a Chicago Cub in '86. He's pitched for Texas, St. Louis, Baltimore, Boston, Seattle, Philadelphia. 2 balls and a strike. He won 21 games for the '03 Seattle Mariners after winning 20 games for that club in '01. Tap slowly. Nelson in. And he Throws it away. Bixler turns for second, and the throw comes in late. It hits him and trickles away, and he's breaking for third, and he'll make it without a play.
Tracy just said, please somebody just hang on to the ball. A nice effort here by Nelson until the throw. And Bixler's going to make second easily. Scudero's throw off the backside of Bixler, who quickly advances to third base. Good hustle. How about that? Just picking up some cheap bases.
Runner at third, nobody out. It'll have to be a double error by the Rockies. One on the throw by Nelson, the other on the throw by Scudero. And the infielders stay back up the middle for J.D. Martinez.
Single error.
Single error. So Bixler gets his first hit with the Astros. Winds up at third and hopes to come home with run number 2. Chasing that one, J.D. Martinez goes to a 1-1 count.
Situation here, J.D. with nobody out. The Rockies have the infield back. Moyer not a strikeout pitcher, so you just have to not get overly anxious. Stay in the middle of the diamond with your approach.
High, that'll get him home. It might get 2 runs home. Cargo in left, watching it hit the seats in the Landry's Crawford boxes. A 2-run homer, J.D. Martinez. 3-0 Astros.
Astros are on a prolific home run pace, Browning.
Yeah, 2 last night, 2 tonight. Finishing 15th in the league in long balls a year ago. They are resurgent. And Moyer trails at 3-0.
It looked like he was going to get the ball in on it, but Martinez able to pull the hands in. That ball was moving way in on his knuckles, but he got the hands pulled in and got the barrel to that ball. And able to lift it out of here. Impressive swing of the bat.
And Carlos Lee did that same thing last night, pulling his hands in on an inside pitch. Martinez hitting the seats in left, and the count's 2-0. J.D. hit 6 homers last year and 208 at bats for Houston. Hit 13 at AA Corpus Christi. 3 balls, no strikes. Chris Johnson on deck. Moyer's at 48 pitches. (3-1). And a full count to Carlos. Beautiful night. And the ball, of course, carries better with that roof open on a warm night like tonight. Not much breeze, though.
A mild zephyr, Browning.
Yes.
Beautiful night to play.
One goes to right field and shallow. Scudero underneath. 1 out.
Watch the adjustment J.D. Martinez makes here. This ball looks like a cut fastball from Moyer trying to run in on him. He just gets the hands in and the barrel on it. It's just a hitter's instincts taking over, because I guarantee you he'll tell you in that at bat he wasn't looking to pull the ball. He was just trying to think middle of the diamond. Don't get fooled. Don't roll over on one.
Chris Johnson cues one out to second. Scudero unable to come up with it. Throws late. And CJ is aboard.
That had all kinds of funk on it.
It did.
That was a gyro ball right off the end of the bat. And it was just going this way and that. That's a it doesn't look like much, but that was a very difficult chance for Scudero.
Scudero, a very adept defensive player.
Watch it kick back the other way on him.
Yeah, he didn't get leather on it. That was a shin ball. Well, the Rockies played errorless ball last night. They made 3 errors in this inning. The Astros kicked the ball all around with 4 errors last night, and they're playing great defensive baseball tonight. Brian Bogusevic struck out looking in the second. Runner going. Here's the throw from Hernandez late, and a stolen base for Chris Johnson. Had a big jump. First steal.
Not a big part of CJ's game, and he took advantage of that. They're not going to pay attention to me over here. First move, he's off. As soon as Moyer lifts his leg, if Moyer had been coming to first, he would have been hung out to dry. Calculated risk. It pays off.
First Astros stolen base of the year. A man who stole twice in 4 tries last year. Bogusevic is at 2-0 in the count.
CJ looking into the dugout after he popped up there as if to say, I told you I was going to get a bag.
Ground ball foul. Jamie Moyer has now allowed 513 home runs in his career. But he's pitched more than 4,000 innings. Chris Snyder's on deck in this 3-0 game. Astros have a terrific record here at Minute Maid against the Rockies. 27-12 for a .692 winning percentage. Lazy pop. Todd Helton gives way. Scudero with the grab. 2 outs.
Well, you know, folks, Astros baseball is always better with a group. Groups of 20 or more receive great discounted rates. Fundraising options are available as well, and ticket and food packages start at only $10 a person. Get your group together and visit Astros.com. There'll be a lot of groups out here tonight.
Yep. Good night for it. Tomorrow on Easter Sunday, a 1:05 start. Bud Norris and Juan Nicasio. That's another interesting story in Rockies camp. Nicasio coming back from a broken neck. Hit in the head with a line drive, and as he fell, it broke his neck last year. Chris Snyder, the batter, he grounded out. There's strike one. You talk about injuries. Josh Outman, who was to have been a key left-hander in the Rockies bullpen, is on the disabled list with an oblique strain. But it's how he got the oblique strain that's the weird story, JD.
What did he do?
Well, he had food poisoning, and you know what's coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Barfed his way to the DL.
Exactly.
Sorry, folks. Couldn't think of a better way to put it.
Yeah. So Richard Justice, of course, Brian McTaggart, Allison Footer, all very well aware of this story on Josh Outman, who, yes, he was vomiting because of the food poisoning, and that puts a whole new meaning to the term hurler.
Oh, my.
Line shot to left field. Gonzalez has it. And the Astros in the 4th inning get a long ball from J.D. Martinez. 2 runs, 2 hits, 3 errors, and a man left. It's 3-0.
The National League, the Washington Nationals knock off the Cubs 7-4. The Nats with a 5-run 8. Adam LaRoche 4 for 5 with a homer and 2 runs batted in. R.A. Dickey gets the win. Lucas Duda had a home run as the Mets doubled up the Atlanta Braves. Milwaukee shuts out St. Louis 6-0. Greinke 7 shutout innings, 7 Ks in the game. Adam Wainwright gets the loss, his first start since September 24th of 2010. And Aaron Hill with 2 homers as Arizona knocks off San Francisco 5-4. This has been the Mazda Game Break. Back to a couple of my favorite hurlers, Bill Brown and Jim DeShays, fellas.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Todd Helton takes strike 1. 3-0. Lucas Harrell trying to mow down the Rockies here in the 5th. And he's at 1-1 with Kadire and Hernandez to follow Helton to the plate. Helton now has a 13-game opening day hitting streak as a result of coming through again last night for the Rockies. Rolls over on that one, and Harrell got him out in front, lunging a little bit for out number 1.
Very, very nice start here for Lucas Harrell.
Showing some finesse and some good sink and giving the hitters some different thoughts, isn't he, JD?
Yeah. I like the way he's going about his business. For the most part, staying down. Every now and then climbing the ladder with the heater. Doing a nice job mixing in his straight change. The fastballs, he throws that sinker, and he's getting real good movement on it. When he throws his four-seamer, he's keeping it out of the happy zone. He'll run it up out of the zone or try to pick a corner with it. And now he's shown the ability to get ahead too with that first pitch breaking ball as he works his way around the order the second time. A little different wrinkle.
Kadire taking a strike. And trying to prevent his bat from going through, he did stop the swing. It's 1-1 on appeal to Field in Culbreth.
The sun reflecting off that building across the way is just brutal up here. I don't think it's a problem for the hitters.
No, but it's blinding us.
Yeah.
There you see it. Criminal Justice Building, ground ball to second, and Bixler goes over to Carlos Lee. 2 down, and the ground ball outs are coming Lucas Harrell's way. Ramon Hernandez grounded to short back in the 2nd inning. This is the anniversary date in 1979 for Ken Forsch's no-hitter over Atlanta in the Astrodome. That was his first start of the season. What a way to begin 79 for Forsch. Threw 106 pitches and faced 2 over the minimum. He and his brother Bob became the first brothers to pitch no-hitters in Major League history. Great numbers for Harrell against this hard-hitting Rocky lineup. Jim Tracy said it's the best lineup he's had in Colorado. And he said what makes it better is the hitters at the bottom after Todd Helton. Tonight, Kadire, Hernandez, Nelson. That's a stronger part of the Rockies lineup than it had been, he said. Two balls, one strike.
You like that. You hear that a lot from managers. They want depth in their lineup. They want dangerous bats up and down the lineup, or at least guys that give you good, tough at bats.
Oh, that's a difficult pitch to hit. 2-2. Especially it appeared, as Jim Tracy couldn't see it from where he was, but that pitch looked like it started off the outside corner and ran back to the corner.
Yeah,
JD.
a little come on back two-seamer. The hitter gives up on. All Oral Hershiser.
Yes. Great view from up on top of Union Station. There's the pattern. And away with curveball up. Yep.
You hung it, but it stayed out of the happy zone. It's not there in Fox Tracks. If that thing settles into the center square there, the Paul Lynn square, he's asking for trouble. But that kind of hung up inside a little bit, and he got away with it. But before that, you saw how effective he was working the corner down and away.
See if he can catch that Charo square this time. Yeah, he seemed to be having a little talk with himself on the release of that curveball, the way he put his arm up and kind of grimaced, JD.
And he realized he just didn't finish the pitch.
Detroit had quite a win over Boston, 10-0. 2 homers from Fielder, 2 homers from Cabrera, and 1 from Avila. Right there. And he has a 1-2-3-5, finishing with strikeout number 3 of the night. Through 4.5, Lucas Harrell and the Astros lead Jamie Moyer and the Rockies 3-0. Bottom of the 5th inning is coming, and it'll be Gonzalez, Harrell, and Schaefer due up for Houston against Jamie Moyer. The Astros getting a Schaefer homer leading off the Astros first, and then a 2-run shot to left by J.D. Martinez in the 4th, an inning in which the Rockies committed 3 errors. And now the Astros hope to create a rubber game tomorrow for this 3-game series if they can nail this one down tonight. Looking for more runs here at the bottom of the order against Moyer. Moyer is walk 1. He's fan 2 so far. He had retired 8 in a row until Bixler got all the way to 3rd on an infield hit and 2 errors leading off the 4th. Marwin Gonzalez 0 for 4 in this series. Looking for his first major league hit, but he has been a factor with the glove tonight. There's a shot into left center field. First major league hit, extra bases. Marwin Gonzalez into second and running hard there with a double. He'll have a baseball for the trophy case. First major league hit for Marwin Gonzalez.
Been doing it with a glove. Now he does it with the bat. Lucas Harrell up there now with an opportunity to push him along to 3rd base as the Astros look for a little insurance now to pad this 3-run lead. Nice night, Mr. Marwin.
Oh, it is. There's the ball. It'll be stowed away and presented after the game. Lucas Harrell will try to advance him. Todd Helton creeping in, now charging in as the bunt goes 3rd base line. What a beauty. And here's Nelson throwing late and in the dirt, safe at first. So Harrell with a perfectly placed bunt with Helton right on top of him. Steers it the other way down the 3rd base line and reaches.
Yeah, you can't do it any better than that. I mean, you would like to drop that bunt down the 3rd base line and force the 3rd baseman to come in and make a play on it. Not only did he do that, but he ends up reaching first base. Yes, beautifully done. That's a knock.
One single for Lucas Harrell. Gonzalez to 3rd. It's 1st and 3rd. Nobody out.
And now Moyer has to roll that ball into the Astros dugout. That's a souvenir. Harrell's first hit. This is a little maddening for Moyer. You just want to take it and throw it into the 2nd deck. You prefer that ball come from one of the position players as opposed to making it all the way back to the mound. Oh, yeah, here you go. Enjoy your souvenir.
Exactly.
Oh, I've got 1st and 3rd, nobody out. Down 3 runs.
Schaefer with a homer and a foul pop. Going bunt again, and there's ball one. Before he homered, he was trying to bunt, and the ball hit him on the hand. And it looked like it caught him on the left index finger. And then he promptly ripped one into the seats after that.
Jim Tracy plays it here. He's got his infielders in the middle pinching in a little bit. They're still at a depth where they could turn a double play.
Bunted, and Moyer, as the run scores, will toss out of his glove to Helton. RBI for Schaefer, and he also advanced Harold to second on a very productive out, getting his second RBI of the game for a 4-0 Houston lead.
That's a situation a manager dreams of, to have the first and third situation and a very good bunter in the batter's box. You got a lot of options. And Gonzalez just reads that off the bat. It wasn't a squeeze play, but he just makes sure it's down and then scampers home.
Now it's Bixler, who's been on both times with a walk and an infield hit. Should be ruled a sacrifice for Schaefer. And it's ball one. Brad Mills and every other manager wants to put those players in the starting lineup as soon as possible early in the season. This one might be a hit as Tulowitzki tries the jump throw, and he beats it out. And Bixler, in his first start as an Astro, is on for the third straight time.
Moyer now at 65 pitches. Bob Apodaca, the pitching coach, is going to come out and have a conversation with Moyer. Not so much that Moyer's fatigued at this point of the ball game, but they're down 4 runs, and you've got a couple of dangerous right-handed hitters coming up.
Now Harrell is trotting over to Dave Clark, the third base coach, as Apodaca talks, and it's Josh Renicky warming up.
Now, home runs are coming in bunches in Major League Baseball. There's been like 5 or 6 guys that have gone deep twice today, so it's kind of a theme. So we'll see if JD can follow suit.
Oh, wouldn't he love to join the club tonight?
Corey Hart has 2. You mentioned earlier the fielder hit 2, Cabrera hit 2, Aaron Hill hit 2, Lucas Duda hit 2.
Not so exclusive club. 65 pitches in for Moyer. And Martinez reached the seats in the 4th after bouncing into a double play in the 1st. Looking at ball one. So much pomp and circumstance, of course, for opening day, but game 2 arrives and it has the same weight, just not the same feel.
Yeah, just the difference between the first day of school and the second day of school. Time to get down to business.
The Astros were 13th in runs scored last year in the National League, a 16-team league right now. 2 balls and a strike. Managed 5 hits last night in the 5-3 loss. Now 5 hits and 4 runs. Here still in the 5th inning with Harrell at second and Bixler at first. Was a sacrifice bunt by Schaefer, by the way, and it gave him his second RBI of the game. Out to second. Scudero with a toss. Tulowitzki across on a 4-6-3 double play. A second double play ball from Moyer, both against Martinez. And the Astros score on 3 hits, and they leave it 4-0. Jack in the Box. Love bacon? Then try the new BLT cheeseburger combo right now at Jack in the Box for just $4.99 plus tax. By the all-new Mazda CX-5 with 35 highway miles per gallon. And by AT&T, rethink possible. Let's go to Patty Smith with Mayor Anise Parker. Patty.
Well, I absolutely am sitting here behind home plate, and Mayor Parker was out here for a very special ceremony honoring the troops during the pregame, and I know you are a big baseball fan, but I know that meant a lot to you to be a part of that ceremony.
It did. We have one of the largest veterans populations in the United States here in Houston, and we have been honored on multiple occasions for how we treat our veterans as a community. This was special because this is about a particular welcome home to people who have been deployed over and over and over again, and now they're home for good. We realize that there are still men and women in harm's way fighting in Afghanistan, but these are our friends and our neighbors, and we wanted to do something special for them. It's also an opportunity not just to say thanks, though, but to link them to the support network we have here, because we know that, unfortunately, a lot of veterans have a hard transition back to civilian life.
Yeah, and the support system, as you said, the relationship with the Astros, the city of Houston, you know, and talking to some of them on the field, it means so much to them just to see that relationship and to see that they aren't forgotten even when they get home.
They were really, really excited about the parade today, and it was a nice crowd. Should have been more Houstonians out there, but I know that it's not just about one day. It is what we do all the time. I don't know if you can see it, but the medal I'm wearing was presented to the city of Houston by the commander of our local Guard and Reserve units for the tremendous support that we give to our troops, and so I accepted it on behalf of all Houstonians.
All right, let's talk a little baseball. I know you're a huge baseball fan. I'm watching you here rooting, screaming for every pitch, but you are a longtime Astro fan, and this is you live for this.
I grew up going to the Astrodome with my dad. We would sit out in the bleachers in the cheap seats, and that's how we bonded. That's what we did together. I also played fast pitch softball in college on my varsity team, so I understand the game, and I like all sports, but baseball's the best.
What position did you play?
Catcher, first base.
All right, awesome. Former shortstop myself, so we got that in common. And you're just on the Astros.
It's a young team. It's going to be exciting growing with this team. It's not going to be probably a lot of wins right away, but this is a team that people will grow with, and it's nice to root for the young guys just coming up.
All right, well, great to see you out here. Thank you for the ceremony in the pregame, and thanks for stopping by.
Glad to be with you.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Patty. Jonathan Herrera now the pinch hitter for Jamie Moyer. Moyer leaving the game after 5 innings, allowing 5 hits, 4 runs. He had 2 strikeouts and walked 1. And Herrera takes that pitch from Lucas Harrell for a ball. Nelson was strikeout victim number 4 for Harrell. Tyler Chatwood's been warming up in the bullpen. 2 balls, no strikes. Harrell had a good spring, hitting .316 with 6 doubles, or Herrera rather. Harrell had a good spring with a 2.16 ERA. Isn't that odd? Well, he had a 2.16 ERA, but Herrera had a .316 batting average. And it's 3 balls, no strikes. But we got a nice note, JD, from Pete Smith. I misidentified him last night as Joe Smith when we were talking with Jim Crane, but Pete is the fan who played some catch with Jim, renewed his season tickets a few days ago, and he's had a great family tradition. He calls it his field of dreams. His great-grandfather, grandfather, his father, and he have all been big baseball fans. Herrera takes a strike, 3-2. And Pete Smith tried out for the Astros in '82. But he's here tonight enjoying the game.
I got to play catch with Jim Crane on the field the other day. Met a number of players, got some autographs.
In the air to left field. J.D. Martinez in. 2 outs for Lucas Harrell, who looks very sharp tonight. And here's the way the evening has gone for Lucas.
He's on easy street right now. He's done it by commanding his fastball, getting very good movement with his 2-seamer, his sinker, occasionally climbing the ladder with the heater. He's had a good changeup. He's had a good Marlon Gonzalez. You see Helton rolling over on the off-speed pitch. That fastball on the outside edge, inducing yet another ground ball. He's got a bunch of those. More recently, the strikeouts starting to come. Very encouraging start. Love his pace, too.
Mm-hmm.
He knows he's on top of his game. He's not wasting any time taking it to the opposition.
A shot past a diving Carlos Lee goes into right field. Scudero is aboard with a single. Hit number 3 for the Rockies. So through last night's game, Wandy Rodriguez going 6 1/3, and tonight so far, Lucas Harrell 5 2/3. No earned runs allowed by an Astros starting pitcher. Just off the tip of his mitt. Wandy was charged with 3 unearned runs in last night's game. Fowler hit a fly ball to center, and he struck out. And that movement takes it out of the zone for ball 1. The Phillies got a run in the first, and after 5, they lead Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh 1-0. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count on Fowler. Troy Tulowitzki does what Matt Holliday does. Holliday in St. Louis. Tulowitzki invites a few young teammates to a special camp that he puts together in the wintertime and treats them to workouts and a little fun along the way for a few weeks in the winter. Sharp breaking pitch. Did he check his swing? Nope. He went through on it. Gary Cederstrom with the call. It's 1-2.
You see Fowler really drifting out onto that front foot. He's susceptible to the breaking ball. He had a lot of problems last year handling the breaking ball.
Fans getting into this game with a 4-0 Houston lead the way Harrell is pitching. That one's in tight for ball 2. White Sox got a run in the first for Jake Peavy at Texas. They lead 1-0 after 1.5. Adam Dunn hit another opening day homer. That's 8 opening day long balls for Adam in his career. That was in yesterday's game. Foul away. Still 2-2.
Well, clearly you have to pitch around Adam on opening day. I mean, somebody didn't get the memo.
Now, is that part of the scoreboard different? It is, isn't it, since last year?
It looks different to me.
Yeah.
Changed the color.
Okay.
I don't remember if that diamond feature was there or not last year. I really don't.
Don't remember that.
Just got a piece.
Yes, so close to a strikeout, but it popped out of Snyder's mitt.
That's the beauty of Harrell. You know, there's a lot of sinker ballers that kind of live at 87, 88, and they just don't have the giddy up on the fastball to climb the ladder and beat you upstairs. At least tonight, Harrell's got enough on his fastball where he can do that.
Harrell with 1 major league win, opposed by a man with 267 major league wins, Jamie Moyer, tonight. A little chop to third. As Johnson fields the 2-hopper, guns him down. No runs a hit, a man left in the middle of the 6th inning. Lucas Harrell and the Astros lead the Rockies 4-0. At Minute Maid Park, they have watched Houston build a 4-0 lead. And we look down on that well-stocked table, food and drinks. Meanwhile, it's the M.D. Anderson This Date in Astros History, brought to you by the M.D. Anderson Cancer Center, making cancer history. April 7th, 1979 was the date for Ken Forsch, who no-hit Atlanta 6-0, and he joined his brother Bob. They became the first brothers to pitch no-hitters, and Ken Forsch, one of the most versatile pitchers in Astros history. Not only was a starter, but a reliever as well. He won 114, 78 with Houston. He had 50 saves, a 3.37 career ERA. He has stayed in baseball, and he's now an executive with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Maybe it had something to do with Tyler Chatwood being traded to the Colorado Rockies, because that's where Chatwood came from. Chris Iannetta went over to the Angels, and Chatwood joins the bullpen here with the Rockies. Last year for the Angels, he worked 27 times, was 6-11 with a 4.75 ERA.
So as he comes in for his first Rockies appearance, it's Lee, Johnson, and Bogasevic to bat in the Astros sixth. Carlos with a ground ball to the pitcher and a pop to second. Looking at ball one from Chatwood. Jamie Moyer threw 69 pitches tonight, 42 of them strikes in 5 innings, allowing 5 hits, 4 runs, walking 1, fanning 2. Lee to center field, Fowler waiting. 1 out.
A little different approach after Moyer, the soft tosser with all the finesse. Here comes Chatwood just reaching back and letting it fly at 94 miles an hour.
First time Chatwood has been on an opening day roster after being taken in the second round in 08 by the Angels. Last year he was 6-11 as a starter for them. Johnson has lined to second and reached on an error by the second baseman. Chris takes ball one.
Get your popcorn. Get your popcorn. And then you got a megaphone when you're done.
Richard Justice is recommending the food items at Marlins Stadium in Miami when we make the trip there next week, JD.
Fish tacos?
Yeah, that, and they have some kind of chocolate-covered popcorn snacks, something like that, all kinds of exotic dessert items.
Probably some good Cuban food there.
Yeah, no doubt.
Some plantains or some rice and beans, maybe.
So we need to hit the concession stands.
Yank a fish out of that aquarium and cook it up.
Did you see the aquarium on TV?
Yeah, just a little bit. Didn't get a real good look at it.
Apparently that's been tested by guys hitting fungos as hard as they could into that bulletproof glass. And that's on both sides of home plate. Ripped on a line. That's into the left field corner off the glove of Nelson. Johnson takes the turn, and he'll be in with a double. Here's a strong throw from Cargo, but it's a little offline. Double Chris Johnson. First hit for him.
Reached on an error, stole a base last time. This time he picks on a curveball from Chatwood. This is an impressive piece of hitting after looking at the 94, 95 mile an hour fastballs. He puts a good swing on this hook. Also gets a piece of it, but it was by him.
CJ was the top hitter in spring training for the Astros this year. He ripped that one. That's what he did throughout the spring. Bogasevic has struck out looking and popped a second. Chatwood delivers ball one. Chatwood is from Fontana, California. Well, the Marlins are scoring runs for a change. They're 0-2, but they're leading 4-2 in the 5th inning at Cincinnati. Slowly hit. Nelson looks back. Johnson takes the out at first, number 2 of the inning. Omar Infante is homered for Miami. Joey Votto's hit one for Cincinnati tonight, as the Marlins try for their first win of the year.
More costly than they used to be.
Time to take a look at our in-game box score, brought to you by Burger King. Home runs tonight belong to Schaefer and Martinez. Astros hit a couple last night, back-to-back by Lee and Bogusevic. So they have 4 home runs so far in the first couple of games. That's a nice pace. They also drew 4 walks last night. Chris Snyder, the batter, ball 1. Last night, with the 2 homers and the 4 walks, they did something they were able to do only 3 times in the 2011 season. Hit a couple of homers and draw 4 walks in a game.
Gene Dias reports that the Astros are on pace to hit 324 home runs this year. A major league record by a long shot.
Love those paces early in the season, JD. 1-1. Still 1-0 Phillies at Pittsburgh. Bottom of the 6th inning with Cliff Lee allowing just 2 hits through 5 to the Buccos. Gene Dias on the right. Stephen Grand on the left. Part of the Astros media relations team. And MJ's over there.
Yeah, she's just next to Stephen there.
MJ Trahan, right there. There they are, all 3 of them. Working away. They do an outstanding job. Had a lot of media to deal with last night. Especially with new owner Jim Crane here, and the media.
Everybody wanted a piece of Jim, yeah.
Sure. And Jim was here again tonight. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Sunday on the pregame show at 12:30, we'll get a chance to chat with General Manager Jeff Luhnow. Three and two. Jeff said he'll travel with the club probably for the first couple of months of the season, just to learn everything he can learn about the 2012 Astros. And then, of course, as you know, J.O. Cruz over there on radio with Alex Trevino. Got all kinds of legends here. David Gottfried and Jeff Luhnow watching from the GM's box. Bouncer up the middle. First hit, it's an Astro. Chris Snyder. And he gets an RBI on it. 5-0.
Of those 2 on RBIs. Down and away with a heater. And drifts back over the heart of the plate. Snyder pounds it right back through the middle.
Johnson coming home with run number 5. That's the 7th hit for the Astros. They've been scattered throughout. Marwin Gonzalez got his first major league hit, a double. And the switch hitter now will bat left this time and taking strike 1. It's a right-handed hitter. He shot that gap in left center field, doubling in the 5th, and then came around to score. That's quite a game for Marwin. The way he's played with the glove at shortstop tonight. Jeff Luhnow said he did not see a better shortstop this spring in any of the games he saw than Marwin Gonzalez. It's high praise. Good work by David Gottfried. David, who's sitting next to Jeff, actually conducted the Rule 5 draft for the Astros because Jeff had just been hired a few hours before that Rule 5 draft, maybe a day or 2, by the Astros. And David did the drafting as the Astros took 2 players in that Rule 5 draft, both of whom stuck on the opening day roster. The other one, pitcher Reiner Cruz. 1-2. We need to hit the green fork section, JD.
Yeah. Right down below us, Brown.
Okay. Folks who want to eat healthy are finding out that some things are awaiting them that are very tasty in that green fork section. Salads, you can add any kind of meat to it. Strike out looking. Gonzalez is caught to end the 6th inning. The Astros pick up a run on 2 hits and add to their lead, which has now grown to 5-0 after 6. Day owners are talking about their cars in the booth. By Whataburger, proud to serve it hot and fresh 24 hours a day. And by the Progressive Insurance Group. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. Beautiful night in downtown Houston, and the Astros fans are really enjoying a lot of things about the evening, especially the scoreboard, showing Houston leading 5-0 after 6. Lucas Harrell has been outstanding through 6. Longest outing of his career. Previous high was 5 1/3 innings, September 2nd of last year against Milwaukee. Seems to have plenty left in the tank. He has 83 pitches under his belt. And here's Carlos Gonzalez leading off the 7th. 1 for 2. Oh, what a nice pitch. Strike one. Sank right to the knees.
Well, he can really be aggressive now. He's got a 5-run lead. And he has such good movement on his fastball. His MO is probably, hey, be willing to throw it over the heart of the plate, just get some good movement down and get some more ground balls.
Sounded like he jammed him on that one. Gonzalez rolled out to second base.
Well, it's a great complimentary pitch after the two-seamer moving down and away. He comes back with a little slider or cutter in on the hands.
Good point. Another ground ball out for Harrell, and now it's Tulowitzki. That's 11 ground ball outs for Harrell. Tulowitzki has hit the ball on the ground twice. You pointed out at the time that Tulowitzki at bat in the 4th inning. A very interesting and productive decision by manager Brad Mills to bring the infielders in on that pitch. And I was on one of the backfields in spring training when they were working on that crash play you described, JD, and the infielders were not coming in aggressively enough, and he said, let's do this over again. That's what spring training is all about. And, you know, you watch a game like last night, you say, wait a minute, this team made 13 errors all spring. That was the lowest total in the National League. They made 4 errors last night. So what was with all the practice? Well, it doesn't always reflect itself in one game. And Brad Mills thought the jitters might have been part of that last night. But he talked about the fact that with the videotape they can study, they're able to bring players into his office and review those plays and discuss them and just address that right away before the next game is played. And that's what they did today. Slowly hit. Chris Johnson throwing on the run.
And his bigger concern, and it would be the same with all managers, they're more concerned with mental errors than physical errors.
Exactly. Let's go to Patty Smith.
Well, guys, I want to remind everyone to be sure to collect all 6 of the Astros Great Moments bobbleheads in 2012. Guarantee your ticket to all 6 nights with the Bobblehead Night 6 game plan. Plans start at only $30, but do not guarantee receipt, so arrive early. Root for your favorite moments and visit Astros.com for tickets. And there is a look at some bobbleheads from years gone by. There's some good ones in there.
They're not here anymore because Steve Perry, the visiting clubhouse manager, has shipped that entire collection to the new stadium in Miami. And he was telling me about that today. Todd Helton takes strike one. He's 0 for 2. He said there's a special display out in the area. We'll have to check it, JD, where the fans can have access to it. They can type in a name and access it and see that bobblehead.
Oh, it's kind of like the Hall of Presidents at Disney. The bobblehead comes forward and he talks. His head bobbles. And, hi, I'm Tommy Lasorda.
Something like that. So we'll have to check.
I managed the Dodgers for 26 years and enjoy pasta.
Sometimes while I'm giving interviews. We're going to miss there on Helton. It's 1 and 2. Harrell has thrown 15 first pitch strikes in the first 24.
Ooh, man, is he making some pitches?
He really is. He's jamming these guys because they're trying to go out and get that sinker, and then he runs it in on them again. And he gets 3 more ground ball outs here in the 7th inning. 5-0 Houston. As we look back at how this game evolved, and it's been shutout baseball, of course, for Lucas Harrell, but he got some early run support. Jordan Schaefer would lead off homer in the first inning after trying to bunt, and then a 2-run shot in the fourth from J.D. Martinez, making it 3-0 Houston after a Bixler infield hit. Then the bunt by Schaefer gets another run home. Gonzalez scoring, and this one up the middle from Chris Snyder. Accounting for run number 5. Jamie Moyer gave up 4 of those. And now Harrell will be leaving for a pinch hitter, Travis Buck. Looks like Wilton Lopez in the bullpen against Chatwood now. And Buck, who delivered a pinch double yesterday, takes ball 1. What a night for Harrell. 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs. Didn't walk anybody, and he fanned 4. Got a bunch of ground ball outs.
Yeah, very impressive work by that man right there. He really pitched. He was going east and west with the sinker cutter, and he's also going soft and hard, mixing in the changeup. Big smile, and deservedly so. Great performance.
Brandon Lyon is now warming up for the Astros. Thirteen ground ball outs of the 21 outs for Lucas Harrell. That went inside to Travis Buck. It's a 3-1 count to Buck, formerly with Oakland and Cleveland. The Astros are currently going with a 13-man pitching staff. That leaves them with only 4 bench players. And Brad Mills was telling the media before the game tonight, boy, we went through those guys in a hurry last night. Fly ball deep center field. Fowler ranging back. What a shot off the wall by Buck. And he's headed for third base as the ball's dropped by Fowler. Buck into third with a dive on a long bolt to the wall in left center. And he's 2 for 2 off the bench this season. That almost got out of here. That's tremendous power.
Well, Buck's been around a little bit. Few different organizations, an outstanding college player, high draft pick by the A's, hit very well when he first came to the big leagues with Oakland, and had some injury problems, fell on hard times, and he's had a difficult time establishing himself as an everyday player in the big leagues. In the last few years it's been up and down between AAA and the big leagues, but he can swing the stick.
A triple for Buck, and that brings the infield in for Schaefer. Schaefer bounces one. Buck holding. Tulowitzki. 1 out. Brian Bixler comes to the plate now. It sounded as if from Brad Mills' pregame comments to the media, the Astros will not be staying with this 13-man pitching staff very long. And all along they had said the plan was to go the first 6 games with 13 pitchers.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to make sure he had 2 left-handers for this series because of all the left-handed bats that the Rockies have. Dangerous ones at that, and likewise with the Braves, who are up next.
Bixler's been on all 3 times. Strike 1 to Bryan. What a night for him. He gets an early start. Has a walk and 2 hits. Bixler had 83 major league at bats with Washington last season. It's 1-1. Bryan's the type of player who has really tried to do everything he can to improve his versatility down through the years, and at age 29 that's come into play for him. 1-2. Jim Tracy's club shut out on 3 hits through 7. This will be a memorable night for Lucas Harrell. Well, it is no matter what happens the way he pitched. But a W by his name would be nice. Broken bat, and it goes foul.
Yeah, especially with all the attention focused on Jamie Moyer here tonight. A lot of national media obviously paying attention to this one to see if Moyer could set that record. Becoming the oldest pitcher to win. It's not going to happen for Jamie. It's likely to happen for Harrell.
Alongside. Bud is up tomorrow. for the 105 start against Juan Nicasio. Monday night at 7:05, a brand new series brings the Atlanta Braves to Minute Maid Park. Jay Happ faces the Braves right-hander Brandon Beachy. And Tuesday night, the big celebration when this franchise started play on April 10th, 1962. It was in Colt Stadium. Tuesday night, it's Kyle Weiland and Tommy Hanson.
Tendency here for hitters to get overly aggressive when you've got that man on third base. Just 90 feet away, you're looking for that cheap RBI, the infield drawn in. But you got to make sure you got a pitch you can do something with.
And he foul tips it for out number 2. Second strikeout for Chadwood.
He's got a live arm, this kid.
Really does. Well, that could wind up being an outstanding trade for them. Pick up a 22-year-old right-hander for Chris Iannetta. J.D. Martinez with the 2-run homer in the 4th also has bounced into 2 double plays. Strike to J.D. You know, J.D. was among the players as he got his first Major League opening day talking about some nerves, and that certainly is something to be expected, especially the first time through. But Carlos Lee said he was feeling some nerves last night. He's been around the block a few times. Bouncer on through into left field for an RBI single, a 3 RBI game for J.D. Martinez. It's 6-0 Houston.
Good swing of the bat there. Even though you feel comfortable with the 5-run lead, you want to cash in that leadoff triple. Schaefer grounded out, Bixler punched out, and J.D. takes him off the hook. This time Chatwood's breaking ball drifts over the inside part of the plate, and J.D. takes advantage.
Carlos Lee, the batter, he's 0 for 3. And he'd love to join in the fun here. The Astros are 5 for 11 with runners in scoring position. Strike evens the count at 1-1. Brandon Lyons had plenty of warm-up time. That's in for a strike, and it's 1-2.
That's a little cheese at the knees right there. 95 miles an hour, knee-high outside edge.
Yeah, he's an impressive arm man. Jim Tracy was talking before the game about Rex Brothers, who pitched the 8th inning last night. He said he reminds me of a guy you had here for years, number 13, a left-hander who threw pretty hard. Billy Wagner. Swing and a miss at that pitch for a strikeout to end the 7th inning. The Astros play add-on, and they've scored in 4 consecutive innings now. They lead it 6-0 after 7. Miller Lite. Lucas Harrell's had quite a night tonight. Here's Marlon Gonzalez throwing to the plate. Chris Snyder with the tag on Carlos Gonzalez. And then Snyder throwing to second. Gonzalez with the tag on Troy Tulowitzki. So they collaborate on 2 tag plays in this game, the shortstop and the catcher. Now we look at Brandon Lyon coming in for the 8th inning. 962 rather the paid attendance. Lyon with an injured season last year in which his shoulder was giving him all kinds of trouble. He was 3-3 with 11.48 ERA. Missed the entire second half after that surgery on his right arm to repair the detachment of his right biceps tendon and repair the tear of his labrum. And that detachment of the right biceps tendon, a very unusual surgery for a pitcher, and he's kind of being monitored by Dr. James Andrews' staff to see how he does, because they haven't dealt with that many surgeries before.
Very important piece of the Astros puzzle out there in the bullpen if he can remain healthy, and a very important year for him to reestablish himself as a healthy reliever going forward. 32 years of age, Lyon working in the 3rd year of a 3-year deal with the Astros.
Brendan's from Salt Lake City, Utah. 1 ball, 1 strike. Flashback to opening day last year in Philadelphia. He was unable to stop the Phillies from that furious 9th inning rally. They roared from behind to beat the Astros in the season opener there. And he gave up something like 6 ground ball hits through the infield, if memory serves, JD.
Yeah.
What a tough way to start.
Yeah, he wasn't really sharp that day, but he was really unlucky as well.
So not a whole lot of fun, but he's rehabbed ever since the June surgery, and now after good spring, 1st inning, and he gets a fly ball here to deep left center field. Schaefer tracking it way back to the wall, and that one's up.
Wow. Did that ever carry?
Kadire, home run number 1 as a Rocky. He unloaded to left center near the ConocoPhillips pump out there.
Wow, you just don't see balls hit that high, carry that far typically. Even here with the roof open when the ball carries well, and it's not much of a breeze if the flags out there in center field are any indication. And the route that Jordan Schaefer took led you to believe that it was a fairly routine fly ball.
Yeah.
Kadire kind of liked it though. He thought I had a chance.
The Rockies are on the board, and it's Hernandez, 0 for 2.
I suspect Kadire is going to like hitting at Coors Field as opposed to Target Field in Minnesota.
Yeah. Brandon Lyon with 78 career saves, giving up the long ball to Kadire. He'll be a setup man for Brett Myers this season. It's a 1 ball, 1 strike count. But with working room here, thanks to the excellent work of Lucas Harrell, who threw 93 pitches, 64 for strikes, and then the Houston offense and a good defensive game. This one back in center field sends Schaefer retreating. Catchable for out number 1. Chris Nelson is 0 for 2. He grounded to short and struck out looking. Beautiful night here in Houston. Game 2 of the season. 6-game homestand to open, and then the Astros go on the road to Miami and Washington. Back here against the Dodgers in a very brief 3-game homestand. Have a couple of trips here in the month of April. That's strike 1. Tyler Colvin comes out to the on-deck circle.
Good chance to see some pretty good starting pitching here in the next few series. And depending on how things shake out with everybody else's rotation, we'll see Hansen with the Braves, maybe Kershaw with the Dodgers, Strasburg in Washington if he's up. Nationals beat the Cubs 7-4 today. They're 2-0 now. Welcome back Adam LaRoche. He went deep, had 4 hits.
It's a 4-game series for the Astros in Washington. And then after the 3 games here with the Dodgers, that's a weekend series, April 20th through the 22nd. That next road trip will take the Astros to Milwaukee and Cincinnati, and they come back on April 30th to begin a nice long homestand against the Mets, Cardinals, and Miami. That takes you into early May.
Beachy, Hansen, and Delgado for the Braves.
There's the look at the upcoming schedule. Not a whole lot of opportunities for home games in the month of April. Yeah, that Dodger weekend series is looking like a good one for the fans for a lot of reasons.
Nice little cutter there.
Strikeout for out number 2. You mentioned Kershaw, Matt Kemp, another one. Those two guys are two of the most talented performers in the league. Andre Ether off to a nice start too.
If the weather stays like this, they'll play with the roof open for that series. Those chances disappear in a hurry when that summer heat rolls around.
They do. Tyler Colvin, the former Cub, at 150 last season with 6 homers, 20 runs batted in. Gets a fresh start with this Rocky organization at age 25. And rips one up the right field line. It's hooking, and in the corner it goes foul. Well, Colvin, who hit 20 bombs in 2010 in 358 at bats, just had a rough go of it last year.
Nice play.
Good.
You can tell he's made plays before too. Not overly exuberant.
No.
Just what I do. I make plays.
Stay in the moment.
He's an athlete.
Act like you've done it. That's a ball to Colvin, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Nice extension.
Lyon cuts it in tight. 2-1. Brandon had back-to-back performances this spring, and he said before the game tonight, yeah, that second consecutive game, my shoulder was feeling it a little bit, so I'm going to need to keep developing to be ready for those consecutive appearances this year. Punched on a line to left field. Nice compact stroke by Colvin. Boy, had such a difficult time with that low batting average last year. Jim Tracy has to love the result of that at bat for Colvin. Hit 373 in spring training with 3 homers and 18 runs batted in this year. Tracy, a former hitting coach. Marco Scudero is 1 for 3. Jim Tracy has 2 sons who are playing in the Rockies organization right now. He has another son who's a scout for Pittsburgh.
Think they talk much baseball at the Tracy household?
Nothing but. He said he was talking about Rex Brothers, the talented left-hander who worked the 8th last night. He said, well, my son who scouts for Pittsburgh was going to take him in the draft, but we had a supplemental pick and we got to Brothers first.
That's Brandon's strength right there, the ability to locate with his fastball. In 2010, when he was healthy, I think if you had asked the catchers, he said, if you put the mitt somewhere and ask a pitcher to deliver to that spot, who's most likely to do it? And Lyon was probably the guy.
Lefty Wesley Wright is working in the Astros bullpen now. Two balls and a strike. Perhaps Wright is getting ready in case Gonzalez comes to the plate this inning. Johnson, Bogusevic, and Snyder are due up in the Houston 8th inning. There's Fred Myers just walking around, anticipating getting in the 9th perhaps. Don't know if he would come in regardless of score just to get in some work tonight or not with a day game coming tomorrow. It's a lazy one to right. Bogusevic tracks it shallow. And in the 8th inning, the long ball by Kadair gets the Rockies on the board. Houston leading 6-1 in the 8th.
of the Astros at MLB.com at Bat 12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Just text at Bat to 31826 or visit Astros.com for details. Bill?
Thanks, Patty. Pitcher number 3 warming up now for the Rockies. He is Josh Renicky, who in 19 games last year had no decisions with a 3.78 ERA, JD.
He also spent time with the Rockies AAA club and the Blue Jays AAA team last season. We're talking about baseball families. Renicky, another one of those guys with good bloodlines. His dad, Gary, longtime Major League outfielder, is now a scout, and Uncle Ron is the manager of the Milwaukee Brewers. See that connection, that family connection in baseball more than any other sport.
Why is it?
I have no idea. You just do.
That's the kind of
I don't even know if it's true. It just seems like it is. I'm going with it.
Okay.
Because of the everyday nature of baseball, fathers bring their kids to the ballpark, and they're hanging out in the clubhouse, and they're out there playing all the time.
Mm-hmm. Liner by Chris Johnson into left center field. He'll take the turn, and it's fielded now. It's dropped by Cargo, and he's going to go on to second base, and he never hesitated. Turned it into a double. There was a little bobble, and that allowed him to get to second base.
Fresh legs early in the season for CJ. Had a stolen base earlier. Legged out a double last time, and this time, because he did not assume that the play would be made out there by Gonzalez and went hard down the line, he was able to advance after this. I don't know if he dropped it or just couldn't find it.
He couldn't find it. It was in his glove.
Might be time to get a smaller glove.
It got caught in that cesta. It was in there, but CJ took advantage. That's hit number 10 for the Astros. Well, they're pouring it on. They're just adding to their lead. They've scored 4 innings in a row. Now leadoff double, and here's Bogusevic.
Be looking to pull.
Eight different players have hits for the Astros, including a pitch hitter, Travis Buck. Renicky misses, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. You know, you spoke of the uncle of Josh Renicky, Ron Renicky, the Brewers skipper. It was interesting to read the stories today about the rivalry between the Cardinals and the Brewers, who are playing each other right now. And of course, they met in the playoffs last year, the League Championship Series. Pretty bitter rivalry last year with the Niger Morgan histrionics involving Chris Carpenter, and even Niger even calling out Albert Pujols, twittering that and calling him Alberta, right?
Yeah,
on one of his tweets.
Ran him right out of the National League.
He left in
Albert
fear.
wanted no part of Niger.
This one will get the base runner to third, and Johnson. And it's ball 4 to Bogusevic, and it will be a wild pitch as well.
Concentration starting to waver a little bit here for the Rockies. Gonzalez not able to get the ball out of his glove in left field, and now Hernandez a little late reacting to this one. He didn't even move his feet. He's like, nah.
Now first and third, nobody out. Chris Snyder, the batter. He picked up the RBI single in the 6th.
I think he's got a good arm. Fastball averages just a little under 94 miles an hour. He also throws a cutter and a curve.
Snyder's a .277 career hitter against Colorado.
Oh my goodness.
Now here's both runners are advancing and scoring. Chris Johnson to make it 7-1. On a ball that again gets away from Ramon Hernandez. Johnson's ready to set sail to second base.
Ramon just, I don't know if he's a little woozy back there. The first one he didn't move on. This time he's just late getting the glove down it. Should be a pass ball. I know there's strict rules that the official scorers have to adhere to when making those calls, but yeah, that ball's got to be caught.
Right. It did not hit the dirt. Should be, in our opinion, a pass ball.
Got a little cramp or something going on.
Off the end of the bat, a little pop up goes out to Scudero. Retiring Snyder, 1 out. Just looking at that replay, though, involving Chris Johnson, he was ready to take off. And that's good base running on his part with no hesitation.
Play the whole game. Late in the game, you got a big lead, but don't assume anything. Take advantage of every opportunity. CJ feels like he's got something to prove this year. Well, he does have something to prove this year.
He does. You're right.
Got a chance to prove that he deserves to be an everyday player in the big leagues.
Had to win the job back in spring training, and he was really impressive. Gonzalez 1 for 3. Matt Downs is on deck for the Astros. There's ball 1. So Brandon Lyon will come out after pitching the 8th, it would appear. Wesley Wright's been warming up. Right there for a strike for Renicky. That makes it 1-1. You know, a night like this could really go a long way for a young player like Marwin Gonzalez in terms of establishing in his mind that he belongs here at the major league level. Rolls that one off his leg, and you know, he certainly displayed the talent with his glove work in spring training. Didn't hit a whole lot. A Rule 5 player has to be kept on the major league roster by the Astros or offered back to his original team, the Cubs. But in the Astros situation, they're going to give him a long look.
Sure. Well, that's the advantage of being in the position you're in as the Astros. You can afford to take a flyer on a guy like Gonzalez. And people might say, well, why wasn't he protected? Why was he eligible to be drafted off that Cubs roster? Why wasn't he on their 40-man roster? Well, they got a pretty good one in Starlin Castro over there.
Sure do. He chokes up on the bat. Ground up the middle, and Renicky cuts it off, throws behind the runner and gets the out, and then on to first. No double play, but Bogusevic was caught on an excellent bit of glove work by Renicky. And he was thrown out trying to get back to second as Gonzalez reached.
It's always a difficult play for a base runner because you're taught if the ball's in front of you, stay put, but if it's behind you, go. You just don't count on the pitcher cutting it off. And he actually did a pretty good job giving himself a chance to scramble back. It was close.
Yeah, he tagged him high.
Yeah.
Adrian Johnson with the out call. Matt Downs is the pinch hitter now for Brandon Lyon. Not sure about that call.
And I don't know that you could argue that Bogey did anything wrong there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, usually pitchers, I'd say that's the uncommon play by a pitcher, not to lump everybody in one category, but quick glove, and then he made a really good throw, too. 349 for Downs as a pinch hitter, 3 homers, 15 runs batted in. A lot of times a pitcher will not field a ball like that cleanly, and it'll get away from him, and the runner could take third on a quick break. Downs thought he was a little amped last night trying to hit the ball out onto the street and had too long a swing when he struck out with 2 men on to end the game. And that's understandable. Rafael Betancourt struck him out to preserve the Rockies' 5-3 win. Matt led the majors with 15 pinch RBIs last year. And it's to his advantage and to Brad Mills' advantage to get him up there often in these pinch hit assignments, even with the 7-1 score. Brandon Lyon leaving after 1 inning of work, giving up 2 hits, 1 run. He had no walks and 1 strikeout.
Now, we talk about it every year. It's one of the challenges for a manager. You come out of Florida where the at-bats are kind of spread evenly amongst all the guys. Then you get into the regular season, the bench guys, obviously because they're bench guys, don't get as much playing time, and the bats start to dissipate for them. We like to give him as many chances, give him an occasional start. You know, Bixler got a start here tonight. Travis Buck might get a start in the next few days.
Kyle Weiland on the left, Jay Happ on the right.
Catchers are going to share time back there, so they should be fresh and sharp and much more productive than the catching position has been in recent seasons for the Astros.
In the dirt for a ball. Jay Happ has a little bit of a lump on his right forearm. He was in right center field yesterday during batting practice, and he got smoked by a line drive from Jason Castro. Jay will pitch Monday night against the Braves, and Brandon Beachy. Two outs, runner going, and that ends the 8th inning. The Astros come up with another run in the 8th, and they take a 7-1 lead to the 9th. Houston is brought to you by Burger King, the proud sponsor of opening week baseball. Ah, what a pretty moon out there in the distance. Downtown Houston, the scene of this game, and it's game 2 of the season with the Astros leading it as they go to the 9th inning and get Wesley Wright on the mound after Brandon Lyon worked the 8th. Nice lead for the Astros, and they have added to it by scoring in 5 consecutive innings, with 2 in the 4th and then single runs in the 5th through the 8th. Wesley Wright last year had a 1.50 ERA for 21 games with Houston.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride the last couple of years for Wesley Wright, a former Rule 5 draft pick himself. The bullpen to the rotation and an experiment trying to drop down a little bit, and then ultimately when he came up late last year, really threw the ball well. So let's see if he can build on that.
Dexter Fowler leads it off. Bangs out a line drive single to open the 9th for the Rockies, and he's 1 for 4. It's his first hit of the season. He had been 0 for 6. Brett Myers and Reiner Cruz are warming up for Houston. 6 hits for the Rockies now, and it's Carlos Gonzalez who has one of those hits, a double in the 4th. Wesley Wright limited lefties to an .038 batting average last year. This is his 3rd time on an opening day roster in the big leagues. First time since the '09 season. Strike to Gonzalez. This is the 5th year in a row Wesley Wright has pitched in at least a portion of the season for the Astros. Oh, 0-2, as you mentioned, trying to reinvent himself along the way by dropping down and becoming a starter. Now back to relief work. Wesley's 27 years old. He's from Montgomery, Alabama. Swing and a miss, and Cargo is down on strikes. He's had some difficulty against lefties in this series. Wandy had him handcuffed.
Real bad at bat on Wandy yesterday. Wesley is a guy that Brad Mills is likely to use as a left-handed specialist. If this were a tighter ball game, he would probably get yanked right here with Tulowitzki up there, but they've got a 6-run cushion.
Troy Tulowitzki, 0 for 3. Takes ball one with Todd Helton on deck. It's been a long winter, JD. Fun to be back doing games again, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. See, the Astros lost 106 ball games last year. Keep reminding folks of that. It was a whole lot of fun for Astro fans, and most folks think it's not going to be a very successful year on the field. In terms of wins and losses again this year, but you know what? You just never know. And it's fun to watch these young guys play and figure out who's going to be able to make it.
Schaefer back into left center field with a long run off his glove. He falls and it moves over toward Towles Hill as the run scores. Fowler around to make it 7-2. And Tulowitzki into third base with a stand-up triple. Well, the Rockies are getting the bats fired up late in this game. They had a homer and a single in the 8th, and now a single and a triple here in the 9th.
Great effort by Schaefer out there in center field, coming up just a little bit short. Tries to lay out, make a Jim Edmonds catch out there off the end of the glove. All the way to third base goes Tulowitzki.
Todd Helton. Helton looks at ball one. He's 0 for 3 tonight.
Helton, great numbers against everybody. Obviously much better against righties, but still 302 lifetime hitter against left-handed pitching, and loves to hit in this ballpark.
This one goes to shortstop. Tulowitzki coming to the plate. Gonzalez gets the out at first on out number 2. Helton picks up his second RBI. 7-3 game.
Pitching change.
Well, Reiner Cruz and Brett Myers have been warming up. 7-3 game here in the 9th inning. 1 out to go for the Astros, and Reiner Cruz is coming in to make his major league debut right after this. It's a 7-3 game with 1 out to go for the Astros' first victory of 2012, and they go to a Rule 5 draft choice. 25-year-old Reiner Cruz making his major league debut with those numbers behind him. JD,
and first pick in the Rule 5 draft, Rule 5 draft this off season. The spring training numbers are not particularly good, but he finished a whole lot better than he started, and he's been known to reach 100 miles an hour on the radar gun.
Michael Kadire has a double and a homer.
It's the kind of guy you take a flyer on. 95, little drop down, low 3/4 delivery, uncomfortable for a right-handed hit. This pitching change, not so much a strategic decision with a 4-run lead, but just an opportunity to give Cruz a chance to get the final out, get a little big league time under his belt, settle in a little bit.
Gets a weak swing there from Kadire. After crowding him with a fastball, he goes with a breaking pitch in the dirt, and it's 0-2. What a nice debut this could be for Reiner Cruz. And with the other Rule 5 pick at shortstop, Marwin Gonzalez putting on a clinic tonight, getting his first major league hit. Quite a night. Whoa! This is not a comfortable at bat for Michael Kadire.
Cruz's problems coming up through the minor leagues, first with the Tigers, then the Mets. Command. He's got that great arm, big strikeout numbers, but walks have been a problem. This little 98 right at the coconut.
Last year, Cruz pitched at Class A St. Lucie and Double A Binghamton. At Binghamton, he had 51 strikeouts in 58 innings. He walked 39. And a slider away, strikes out his first major league hitter and finishes the game, and Astros victory. Debut night in the big leagues for Reiner Cruz. He and the other Rule 5 choice on the Astros, Marwin Gonzalez, a part of this first Astros win of 2012 with hitting distributed throughout the lineup. 2 home runs tonight. Excellent glove work, and the Astros win it 7-3.